Welcome to episode 524 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
You big diesel.
I almost did it, but...
Did what?
Said that I was the big diesel, and I was like, nah.
Yeah,
I haven't got enough ego for that. You know me, I'm a very humble man.
That would be very, very conceited to call yourself the big diesel.
It would. But I did give myself...
Others may call you the big diesel, but one does not call themselves.
I did give myself
diesel.
the nickname, though.
Yeah, you literally just fucking to say, I'm the big diesel. All right, and we foolishly ran with it. But it's a thing now.
It is.
We forget the origins. I forget who suggested it now. But it's sticking.
The big diesel's just, it's its own thing. There'll be legends of how it came about.
Yeah.
They'll tell it around campfires and on tour buses.
In prison.
Once you put it on the rails, that's it. There's no stopping it. The momentum of the big diesel is just fucking... It's unstoppable.
It does not have brakes. Cannot stop. Both literally and metaphorically. Cannot stop.
You're about to get a knock on your door and fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson will be there wanting to investigate you. I've heard you can't be stopped.
Have to make some new theories about revolutionise science.
The only thing that can stop me is busted calf, sore rib, or cardiac arrest. All of which.
Don't forget your shoulder. Your shoulder pops in and out too.
We're pleased to announce the new theory of general desertivity. E equals big D's squared.
Big Diesel chat, following up with some Toowoomba C-Grade touch football chat. Give the people what they fucking want.
I was gonna ask Stepdad if he's fully over the pangolin's kiss yet, but I assume that's a yes.
Mate, yeah. Thank God for fucking vaccines. We're golden. Got through it easy.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's like the COVIDs these days are. They're soft compared to the fucking olden days COVIDs that the forefathers had to go through back in 2020, March of 2020.
That's it. And I went through it when you didn't get the fucking pity for it.
Yeah.
Like, you remember,
no one gives a fuck now.
The golden era of COVID, and fucking how good was it? Like if you could be somebody's first like known COVID case back when it was all over the news. But no one actually is like, oh, fuck, people would be ringing you up going, do you want me to buy groceries for you? I'll have them delivered to your house.
Like some kind of diseased rock star.
Yeah,
fucking,
that's it.
Now the group chat doesn't even fucking throw a fucking heart emoji on it.
No.
That's how fucking, that's how much shit's changed.
That's it.
You barely give a thumbs up emoji on your shit.
I'll tell you what, though, Em and I have both said it. If the kids had that level of sickness that they had, this is how fucking mild theirs was. If they'd have come into us and gone, oh, I'm too sick to go to school, we would have gone,
pull the other
I think fucking not. Off you go.
Nice try.
Yeah, that's it. So, stay away from kids, fucking old cunts and asthmatics.
Wow.
They're out there. They're fucking live. They're hot.
And you never know. You never know which one's got the bug.
Fucking Vita fortune out there. If only COVID killed pedos.
I was going to say, maybe that's a way to fucking reduce the priest population of the Catholic Church.
That'd be fucking great.
How do we get here? Started with the big diesel, and here we are killing priests.
Just altar kids coughing on the priest's fucking paint. Can they get it through?
Stop it! Please stop! Please stop!
Could it be true?
Please stop, Nathan. We know what you're going to say. Everyone knows what you're going to say.
Originally, they did think of naming COVID reverse AIDS. So I think that was because that was a viable transmission technique.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Fuck.
You back into your touch season yet, Glennie?
No, this weekend we're back. Had training tonight.
Yeah, how'd that go? You look all right.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. Still.
You fucking tapered. You tapered through this vacation period.
Nope, not at all. But that's all right. I'll get out there. I'll feel good. Ribs are good. Calves good until Saturday. Probably fuck it all up again. May fuck my shoulder diving through corner, but I feel like the big diesel has a standard he has to uphold that has never actually been set by me, but people now have expectations of the big diesel.
Yep.
And runaway tries, diving in the corner is part of that expectation. That I will not.
I would have thought that running, just runaway tries where you just place the ball down because you've gapped the opposition so much that like you can just casually run, turn around, place it down with two hands while you're staring at the guy who's chasing you.
The tries that I have scored have been exactly that. Not through running away, just being.
Can I just say
put in
now?
Space. Yes.
The whole time you're talking, I'm going to have the as yet unreleased song "Runaway Tries" to the tune of Soul Asylum's "Runaway Train."
Love it.
And there's even a reference to a fucking one-way track.
It is quite offensive. All this big.
They often said that was the song that fucking Counting Crows wish they wrote.
Oh, really?
As well,
here we go. We're back on that. So good. But it is quite offensive.
Like we were ever off it.
It is quite offensive to people that actually take their touch football very seriously, of which there's quite a number of those in Toowoomba. And touch football fields a little void in many lives of many Toowoomans. And it's probably quite offensive for the Big Diesel thing to be taken off. And let's hope it doesn't get into the mainstream, because I will have.
Can I tell you? Can you imagine how pissed off they'd be if there's a bunch of people wearing Big Diesel shirts and like cheering for you and only you in a game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what shits me is that I would expect my best mate, who's also part of that same team, of which people will not be cheering for anyone but me. And to say he is, quote unquote, on board the Big Diesel would be a fair understatement. Fucking absolutely loving it. Loving it.
Can I just backtrack just a minute to where you were saying that there's a lot of people in Toowoomba that are just like, they're embedded in touch and, it feels a massive part of their lives.
Yeah.
Why do you think touch took off so significantly in Toowoomba?
Well, it's massive
everywhere. Is it because they're softer than regular people and they can't tackle or they don't want the contact? Is it because of that, Glennie? Is that what you said to me?
Touch football.
I feel like that's what you said to me.
That's not what I said, Nathan. I really wish you would stop saying such hurtful and inflammatory things.
No.
Touch football is a massive sport played by all ages and enjoyed by thousands upon thousands of people, and as it should be.
I had honestly never heard of it. Until you told me you were playing. Until you told me you were playing it, I'd never heard of the sport.
I had a look
That's
at
a
this.
lie.
Frankly,
that is a fucking lie.
I had a look at this, and actually the origins of touch football began in Toowoomba.
Catholic Church.
No, it began in Toowoomba. And in 1876, there were a couple of, for their time, progressive Toowoomans who actually allowed the local.
I don't even know what. Actually, now I know where you're going with it. Yep, gotcha.
And when the fucking fat, bald, white Toowoomans were so thoroughly outclassed in a game of rugby league by the Indigenous side, who had never actually played the sport or seen it before, they changed the rules and removed tackling from the game. And it was actually first called near enough, where you didn't even actually have to touch them. The whitey just had to call out near enough as they had the Indigenous player run past them at a fucking rate of knots. And then from there, they realised that looked silly, so they pulled it back so that the whitey had to actually flail their arm in the direction of the passing Indigenous player.
Well, that is part of the sport that I have nailed, if I'm honest. Yes. Flailing my arms as people run past me. No one does that shit better. I'm leading the league in arm flails. Brilliant. Oh, yes. Anyway, that's enough touch football chat. People will be fucking sending messages that we'll read and won't give a fuck about.
Nice.
People send messages when we don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's when the messages
They're the good people. It's the fucking... Yeah. It's the flogs that complain about the content of their free podcast that comes out every week.
Listen.
When I'm living... That we do in the middle of our actual fucking life, so you cunts can sit on your ass and fucking listen.
It's probably the rest of your team.
I love it. I'm beloved. I'm beloved.
Honestly, there's that many podcasts out there, both in this particular topic and myriad other topics. around the world that if anyone in the year of our Lord 2023 is listening to this podcast, it's because of the three of us and nothing else. Like, they want to hear about the big diesel and touch footy, and it's a fact.
People don't know why, but they just do.
Exactly. It's time to get into the games from the weekend though, and you're up again, Big D's, because the first game, the Sharks 36 defeat the Tigers 12 at Combank Stadium. The Sharks 36 came through tries to Nico, Jesse Ramian, Talakai with a double, Katoa with a hat trick, Nico 3 conversions and a penalty goal. Tigers 12 tries to Tommy Talau and Sean Bloor. Brandon Wakeham 2 conversions from as many attempts.
I think from the Sharks' perspective, it was a result that was probably expected, and anything less, they probably would have marked it as a disappointment, but it was an imposed training run at best for them. But for the Tigers,
I think they walk away from this one as a disappointment, because it was only an opposed training run, for the last 25 minutes up until half time. This is a fucking game, son.
Yeah, the Tigers showed a lot more ticker than the week prior, but
than zero.
Than zero. Look, it was a low bar, but they got there. For the Tigers, I think I feel like Brandon Wakeham is on hiding to nothing. He's not the guy that is going to steer the team to results. Yep. He's a serviceable 5'8" at best. I don't know that that's even a great rap for the bloke, but I like his effort, and you can see that he's legitimately trying out there, but skill and ability wise, he's just off the pace, and I think too much is being expected of him. I think he might be a lock, maybe. He's certainly not a half, and it shows. It makes it very hard for a team that is struggling in attack regardless, and obviously got 2 key playmakers out injured, and to put a guy in there that it's just too big a job, and it shows. The Tigers are right in the game, but they couldn't really build the pressure that you need to do against better teams to give yourself a chance of winning, and the result spoke for itself.
Yeah, they tried as hard as they could for as long as they could until the gap finally revealed itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Glenn, did you see the reports today that you guys are apparently chasing Brodie Croft?
Well, it's a good Highfields kid, Brodie Croft. He's is that actually truthful, or?
Oh, look,
I saw the headline. I didn't read it though.
There is truth in that. There is an article that says that. How much truth is in the article?
Yeah, no. You can only say what you've read. I don't expect you to do the research, but look, I don't hate it. He's probably going well over there in England, isn't he? Or
it's probably
they all do.
Steel.
Yeah,
they all do.
Yeah, look, anyway. I don't hate it.
So you don't think that next year Wakeham and Dewey are your
Well, Dewey's unlikely to play for most of next year.
Oh, yeah, how long's he out for?
Like next year.
Like
all this year.
Yeah, fuck, okay.
What the fuck is wrong with his ACLs? I mean, not the thing that makes him break all the time. But...
yeah, fuck, okay.
So what are they doing? Someone's fucking walking from the Himalayas with
ACLs to Adam Dewey are like human emotion to Jay. just doesn't have it.
What? There's a genuine facsimile sometimes.
He approximates ACLs is the best he can hope for.
The whole cadaver transplant thing makes even more sense.
Is that what he's having done?
I have no idea. I mean, clearly they're growing stem cells from babies that haven't even been impregnated women into women yet. Because it's taking that fucking long. How for a year in fucking ACL? How the fuck are you out that long for?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, really? Like all of this year.
But what round did he injure that? Like probably 6 weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, minimum, yeah.
More? That's I mean, like normally someone does an ACL, they go, okay, well that's it. He's
doing it for the third time. Like, it's a fucking mosaic at this point. They're trying to fucking glue it back together.
Oh, why don't they get some fucking gorilla grip, just cut a fucking incision and just get the thing and tube and squirt it in?
Why not?
Because they don't use ACLs, they use Achilles.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be super fucking strong, and
that's it. Oh, although, would you really want a player in the Tigers jersey where fucking Karma or Fate or whatever could look at it and go, that thing's got 4 Achilles heels? Socials. Benny said, despite the win, that was a disappointing performance. Must feel like having sex with Glennie.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he said it was a win, though.
Yeah.
To have sex with Glennie, by, in his analogy.
That's it.
Righto,
Richard.
I'll take it.
It was a disappointing win, but it was a win. That's still a win, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not all negative.
It's like saying
Silver linings and all.
saying the person you're with has climaxed, Glennie, but they had to, choke themselves or imagine George Clooney or, something. Like
Not
they had to
look
do
at me.
all the work.
Not look at me to get there.
Richard. A much improved performance by the Tigers insofar as 50 minutes they actually looked like they were trying. The knock-on for the disallowed try saw the Tigers' heads drop and they allowed the Sharks to score immediately. 18 all turned into 12-24. It was game over. Blore was one of the Tigers' best, so it's indicative of the type of organisation they are that he's one of the players they've told is free to leave.
It's so true.
And he had a lot of passion when he scored that try as well.
Look, and again, it's easy to rip on the Tigers. But if you're he's literally now in a contract situation. Everyone knows he's been told he can fuck off.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be surprising that he goes out and has a good game.
He'll land on his feet at a club that's higher up the ladder.
Yes, he will.
Because it
Next
would be
game.
impossible for him not to unless he went to England.
Ouch.
The Raiders, 36, defeat the Dragons, 26 at Wynn Stadium. The Raiders, 36, came through tries to Tarpanay, Frawley, Sebastian Chris, and a double to Matt Timoko. Croker, 6 conversions from many attempts. The Dragons, 26, a double to Zach Lomax, a hat-trick to Rawalawa, and 3 conversions to Lomax.
Felt like this could have been 100-0 to the Raiders if not for Frawley and Croker's defence.
Yeah.
And it took a while for them to actually decide to not defend.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked like they were home and hosed. He's like, Timoko was fucking destroying them.
Absolutely just running through at will.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Dragons are like, oh, there's an opportunity here. These cunts can't tackle or fucking defend anything. We'll just start running at them. And it worked. And then if it works once, try it again. And it worked again. And then it continued to work. And all of a sudden, the Dragons are right in the game. So, I don't know. I thought Lomax, it started to show some glimpses of his best form as the Dragons come back, and it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what Flanagan does with him. He's been, for the last probably 12 months or so, he's been rumoured to, to be leaving to go to other clubs, and he's a legit one of the only strike weapons that the Dragons have. I'll be
did we ever get to the bottom of that?
Go.
Because Dragons fans don't often rate him. And he was told by the club that he is free to look at other options.
I wonder if that's been since rescinded.
I'm not sure if it's been rescinded. I was chatting to a Dragons fan on the weekend who was under the impression that he's on something like $800K a year.
He's on more. He's on a bit, yeah.
And they've essentially said to him, yeah, you can go and look at other fucking clubs. And it changed the way that statement would sound to me. So if you're on 800K and they've said, yep, cool, you are free to go and talk to other clubs. However, we're not paying any of your freight. So go and see if anyone else will pay you 800K and then fucking come back to us. So
because that's the thing, because if they want to get rid of him, I mean, they are going to have to fucking pay that freight, unless you can get and I don't think he'll get an equal offer.
No, 100%.
So,
which to me turns that around from he wants out and he's been told he's free to negotiate to.
Yeah.
They've said you're not worth.
I also think that he would have wanted out if Hook had been still there.
Yeah.
Because clearly Hook, dropped him and shifted his side. And
he was just the scapegoat for a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
He's also, at this stage of his Dragons career, he's also a better player than Ben Hornby, Matt Cooper, Mark Gasnier, Langlands.
At their peak.
At their absolute prime.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the Dragons fans would turn on a player of such talent. I can tell you why, actually. I've just figured it out. Because they're all cunts. To a man.
Where do we sit on the Raiders at the moment?
Fake team, same as last week.
Yeah. They're
worst team still in the 8.
I feel like they have the pieces. I just don't know that mentally they can really hang with the better teams. We call them the faders for a reason, but they legitimately drop out of games for large periods of time. You just can't do that against the better teams.
Yeah, and I mean they did a good job. To their credit in this game, they did hit back with that try to kind of seal the deal and stretch it back out, because I mean the Dragons got to within like 6, and it was all their momentum, and then they sort of got that other try just to sort of push themselves out a little bit, and that was enough to kill off the Dragons. I mean there was still time there, but they sort of killed off their momentum, and they couldn't score any more tries. But yeah.
So they're now sitting equal points with the Sharks, the Storm, and the Raiders.
Yeah.
And if you gave me a group of those teams, there is one of them that would feel out of place at the moment in terms of form.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, the buys have fucked around with everything too. Like the Sharks have had a ton of fucking buys, so they kind of.
Well, the Sharks have played 16, the Raiders have played 17.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the Raiders have a bye this weekend.
Yep. So that'll.
So take buys into
equalise.
equation.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yeah, but the thing with the Raiders is their for and against is probably like negative 50 something. Isn't it?
It's horrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their for and against is terrible. They're the only side with a negative for and against in the top 8.
Yep.
So
and in fact, their negative for against would probably put them under a lot of teams that aren't there too.
That's it. So if they have one. Fucking hell. Okay, so there's only 2 teams outside the top 8 that have a positive for and against. The Cowboys in 9th, and the Knights in 14th.
Yep.
That's only thanks to the fact that they've played.
And they just threw on 60 the other night. Yeah.
And they'll probably do it again this weekend.
Well, to be continued.
Who knows?
Glenn, you'll have your right to retort, sir.
Anyway.
This slander.
Yeah, I'm with you on Canberra. Fake team. Matthew, Elliot Whitehead has long been finished as an NRL player. He's now finished as an Englishman after that celebration. He should have pulled some sandpaper out of his shorts and rubbed it on the ball to celebrate you all being cheating Aussie cunts. Other than that, the Dragons are better off without Ben Hunt.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'd forgotten it. That was probably the second greatest try celebration of all time. That one, that was fucking legit. Just, there was the details. And the fact that they had Whitehead line up to be the batter in that scenario was just fucking spectacular. Like, for me, I put it after the fucking hand grenade. Hand grenade's still number 1.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of partial to Piggy Riddell jumping the fence and sitting in the seat and clapping himself.
Yeah,
well.
that was good.
That was a pretty good one. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking up there in that kind of esteemed company.
I think that does get points though, just for a fat man showing off his fat leathericism.
These fences are only they're only a metre high. We just get over them easy enough.
I know, but it was a single bound.
Yeah, that try celebration was easily the best thing the Canberra Raiders have ever done as a club.
Yeah, agree.
Lovely.
Agree.
Cody, pretty happy with the bounce back and the way the boys played when we started losing blokes. Now we just need to try and do it for 80 minutes. A lot of blokes played their best in a long time, especially Lomax and Amoni. I have a soft spot for Laurie as captain, and
Laurie's got a few soft spots too.
Continue.
Right, moving on to the Warriors 46 defeated the Eels 10 at CommBank Stadium Saturday afternoon. The Warriors tries to Dylan Walker in game 200, DWZ, a double to Mitch Barnett, a double to Marcelo Montoya, and a double to Luke Metcalf. Johnson 7 of 8 conversions. The Eels 10 tries to Simonson and Lane, and 1 conversion to Sean Russell. I
think the Warriors took care of business against a Origin-affected opposition who were also without Uncle Touchy. It was an important win for the Warriors, and they really, once they sort of got the upper hand against the Eels. They really kept coming and didn't take their foot off the pedal and put a hell of a score on them.
Because it took them a while. It took a while to warm
Yeah.
in. This game was a very close game for quite a long period through that first half.
Yeah.
But then when they sort of got a couple back-to-back, and I think they took it out to probably 16-10 or something, then they just fucking floored it and started putting a score on them. And to the point there at the end of the game, it was disappointing they didn't get the 50 burger on
Yeah.
this
It was.
because he was there for him. I mean, they had time. They had a good sort of 6 minutes or something at the end there where they could have got it.
And Para were shot.
Yeah.
They were absolutely fucking gone.
Yep, but it was great. Luke Metcalf's best game ever, by far.
Absolutely.
I mean, he spent time, at Sharkies and Manly in the lower grades, and he was never that great at defense, and he just never was that guy. But fuck, man, when you got Sean Johnson playing almost at career peak, or at least with his new style that's representing his career peak, is he was amazing.
Yeah,
Just his footwork and I don't know that Para's defensive spacing was all over the place at times as they were sort of reeling with the Warriors coming at them so hard, and he just picked his moments and his footwork and acceleration to get once he's beaten a guy, his acceleration then to capitalise on that was really impressive, and I would imagine he's going to play a lot more first grade.
I'd be keen to see him in situations that aren't so favourable, and he did. He had an absolutely outstanding game, but there were a couple of decisions he made where he was just a little bit lucky that it was one of those games where his entire team was up for it and passes stuck and that Parramatta were falling off tackles. Like I think it was the second try he scored where they just made a massive fucking break, and he realistically could have sent the ball right to have any one or two players stroll over untouched, but he chose to dummy and go himself and made it and got there, and it was a good try, but could have quite easily bombed it, which at that stage of the game wouldn't have made any difference to the actual result. But in tighter situations, that sort of stuff can be the difference between a momentum shift and not. In saying that Warriors side, typically in their history, that's the game where they would have been in danger. There would have been that period right at the beginning where things were close, the score was even, they would have felt like they should have been out by more, and they would have let teams come over the top of them, and then they're mentally gone. But for them to hang in there and then to run up the score like they did, fuck me. Again, Sean Johnson's resurgence, how fucking good. Jeff, he said, fuck you, Brad Fittler. My thoughts exactly, friend. Russell, feel good result of the round. Thomas, Fittler is a goddamn genius. If Nutho loses it for the Blues in Origin, then he's fucked both the Blues and the Eels, which makes it a good time to not support either of them. Isaac, how good is DWZ? He did what no other athlete does, checked on and helped the photographer after bowling him over. That was fucking great. I did love, do you see the...
That was good. I just like the good, it was just good footage.
But did you see they had the Fox cameras?
Yeah.
Had a section where they had the photographer there and they were showing him going through his fucking camera, and he had action shots of the whole fucking thing and he kept snapping.
He's just firing 20 frames a second.
That's
or whatever.
The consummate fucking professional. They were fucking great shots.
Yeah.
Matthew. Oh, wonderful effort from Isaac Lumi playing on with a terribly dislocated eye. Is that what
I think that's just sarcasm, right? That's how his eye always is.
Yeah, he's right.
Dislocated. Fuck.
He can see around corners.
Liam. Fuck the Eels. So good to see them lose. Nick. Will still make the top 4. Also, Dry July is bullshit. Fair enough.
Dry July is bullshit.
Joey. I expected nothing less. The Warriors side unchanged should have beaten us. Para grabbed more than Brown in defence. And Richard, this game had something for everyone. For Para fans, they can point to the game being played in a great stadium. For everyone else, Para got smashed. There it is.
Lost to Para is a flogging to Para is as good as a Manly win. So yeah,
there you go.
Great. It was a
Has
great
the-
round of action.
Has the window shut?
Yeah, of course it fucking has.
Yeah, okay. Just check.
Was it ever fucking open? No. But now it's shut.
Oh, there was a breeze. You know, someone said to go and check if someone left the window open.
It was an old fucking window, and it's like stuck together, and they got it up a couple of inches, and then it fell back down, smashed them on their fingers, broke their knuckles,
Nice.
and now it's shut. They're not even going to try again. That's it.
Fantastic.
And of course, the hand with the knuckles that pushed the window open is Parramatta fans. And because they had their hands in the window and couldn't pull it out in time before it smashed down and smashed their fingers, is to tell me that they actually deserved it as well.
There you go.
Oof. Wow.
The Doggies, 36, defeated the Rabbitohs, 32 at Accor Stadium. The Doggies, 36, tries to Reid Marnie, Jacob Carraz, Ethan Kyle and hat-trick to Blake Wilson. Matt Burton, 5 conversions from 6 attempts and a penalty goal. The Rabbits, their 32 came through tries to Thomas Burgess, Tallis Duncan, a double to Tyrone Munro, a double to Blake Taffy, 2 conversions to Blake and 2 to Dean Hawkins. It's quite an entertaining game.
Tell ya.
Yeah.
How good's Matt Burton? Almost a representative level player.
I tell you, isn't it funny that Matt Burton, I think in his time at the Dogs, he ran for far, kicked for far less meters, ran for far more meters, had about 20% less possessions in the game than he'd ever had for the Dogs. You put a fucking actual real 7 there to handle the 7 stuff.
Yeah.
And he gets back to running
Yep.
and doing what he's actually good at.
Yep.
And, well, you look at the fucking results.
Holy fucking shit.
Yep.
Impressive bounce back for sure for the Bulldogs.
Oh, impressive debut for fucking Sexton. It had everything to do with it and nothing else had anything to do with it. It was 100% his injection to that side. Probably saved them from getting a spoon, in my opinion.
Yep.
This game with the buys taken into account, with for and against, and they've got a couple of games break on Tigers now and
So
Dragons.
the Dragons will get the spoon. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Dragons versus Tigers, 2-way battle for the spoon at this point.
Yeah.
It
And
just
for and
makes you
against is
wonder
obviously
what went on at the Titans there, because
they fucked up. That's what it is. They fucked up
for the longest time though. So Fogarty's there toiling away at the Titans. He fucks off to Canberra.
Yep.
Sexton is the next big thing. He's the guy, the half.
He plays like the last sort of 10 games or whatever in the season preceding. Yeah,
he fucks off, goes straight in with a couple of weeks worth of training sessions and fucking kills it.
Look, you can't get one game that a kid has had, and again, it's like fucking old mate Blore. Oh, he's fucking had an absolute cracker. Well, of course he has. He's playing for a fucking contract.
Do you know what this means, though?
It's Sexton's first game after a fucking exodus.
Tanner Boyd to the Tigers.
What it means is that maybe Holbrook
all.
should have got maybe it means that Holbrook should have got fucking sacked because he chose Tanner Boyd over Sexy.
Yeah.
And history has proven him to be incorrect. And now they don't even have him parked in fucking.
But the reason he got arseholed is because Des didn't want him. Des didn't have him in his plans.
Yep.
So
him too. They all fucked up. And the other thing is, and the other thing too, we could mention in the news, but the other thing that relates directly to this Sexton situation is that for the Bulldogs to be able to accommodate Sexton in their top 30, so he could make the change, Josh Reynolds came to the team-friendly decision to retire.
Yep.
To open the spot for Sexton to come in for the benefit of the club, which I've got to say is I fucking hate the Dogs, but fucking that's a pretty fucking top-notch move.
Josh Reynolds is a stand-up guy. And
he is. He's a stand-up guy.
He's fucking got some questionable tactics on the field at times, but as a human being, I rate the guy.
Well, I guess
dumb as shit. Can't read an ultrasound to save his fucking life either.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. He's not a doctor.
Someone showed him.
He's not the best gynecologist.
Someone showed him the ultrasound, and said, "This is your new Bulldogs playing contract." So he didn't actually have one anyway.
So he signed it.
That was all pretend.
Thanks for autographing my ultrasound. Appreciate it.
You would assume and hope that the Dogs will do right by him, and he will have some sort of
He'll undoubtedly remain at the club in some capacity, right?
Ambassador's role or whatever. But I agree with you, Glennie. There have been times on the field where I've looked at him and been like, the way you fucking carry yourself.
The way that you carry your leg on the outside of your body as players are running past, it's questionable.
But then you hear all the stories about everything he does for the fans and all of the extra, and it is legitimately that unsung hero stuff. It is the exact opposite of the Billy Slater posing for photos with homeless people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fucking good on him. Souths, unfortunately, just again, if I'm that South side, I need to do exactly what Penrith do when all of their Origin players are out, and
not be shit.
We'll play statement games to say that we are more than the sum of our parts.
Yeah.
You know, our stars are out. However, our number 6 isn't responsible for the fucking defensive integrity against subpar sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
regardless of who they had out, this is one that South should have won easily.
Yeah.
And in the end, they fucked around, and the Bulldogs just kept going, and one last push, and they got there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And it's games like this that Souths are going to look back at the end of the season when they've been jostling for position in the 8 and haven't got what they wanted to.
Yeah. Or they end up, 5th or 6th and face.
Yeah, exactly. When top 4 was like a guaranteed sort of situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And come up against who they probably should have had in the grand final. In the week.
Yep. Exactly.
Terry. Burton's in-game laser eye surgery was the difference with the points. Sexy changed the Dogs' attack. Defense is still awful, but every Dogs fan needed that result. You certainly fucking did.
Every Dogs fan needs a fucking bullet.
Yeah.
Not that result.
Russ.
This just shows based on honesty, isn't it?
Russ, watch Avarillo do well in the 24 Dally M's under Benny. There you go. There's really fucking put your house on it. Fucking degenerates.
Yeah,
Thomas, guess it was just a 1 week reprieve. I'd say something along the lines of, at least the kids put up a fight, but this was the Bulldogs, so they don't get that. They get shamed. Terry.
Basically the week where there's the anniversary of the Rabbits getting readmitted into the competition, and then they put on a performance that tells us all, why that should never have happened.
Nice. Terry, Demetrio having a big ref's fault in deflecting that his side lost to the Dogs. Matthew, Dairy Queen Dogs, good to see some of the juniors and project players get a go. We might be stuck at the bottom of the table for a while, but the turnaround in attitude is promising. And I think that was the biggest thing that Sexton brought. There was some energy and fucking urgency in their attack that wasn't there previously.
Yeah, but you can't get too excited about 1 week though.
Exactly.
As well.
And especially the first one.
The Dogs are always showing the signs of a turnaround, and they spend a bunch of money, and they're 12th and now they're 15th.
There we go.
This year.
That's us.
That's called a fucking decline. So how about you strap on the fucking orange and go full fucking Tigers, doggies. The Dolphins, 23, defeat the Titans, 21 at Hope Solo Coliseum. The Dolphins, 23, came through tries to Lemuelu, Osako, Wallace and Bromwich. Osako, 2 conversions, a penalty goal and a field goal. Titans 21 tries to Foreign, Sammy, Brian Kelly, Tanner Boyd 3 conversions, Tanner Boyd 1 penalty goal, Tanner Boyd a field goal. And this is the end of this game with one of those comforting fucking blankets that you can put on and go, we've been through a pandemic. The world's fucked. Ukraine's getting attacked. Fucking America's going to hell. the Earth's fucking overheating and we're going to fucking die soon in boiling fucking death. Yet, despite all of the upheaval and change in the world at the moment, in the year of our Lord, 2023, Anthony Milford is still deferring the taking of field goals to win games to Jermaine Osako, whether it be at the Dolphins or whether it be back at the Broncos a couple of years ago. Some things don't change. And that's comforting.
Hilarious. I thought this was a great game of footy. Impressive from the Titans in particular, given the talent that they had out with Origin duty. But I thought the Dolphins, this is one they really needed. They got the job done. Also, I was impressed with Bennett. I guess if the result went the other way and the penalty went to the Titans, but, all in all, every field goal to tie a game or win a game, players are always fucking leaving early.
Yeah.
Always. That's the first penalty I can remember for being done for leaving early.
Yeah, the difference in this one was that the player, it was fucking Aaron Clark, I think, wasn't it? He was directly next to the referee.
Yeah.
And the referee called him off.
Yeah.
The second he took off early, he actually called him off. So Aaron Clark could have been offside and could have played a mildly irritating role in the play and probably still got away with it.
Yeah.
But the fact is he was called off and then went full charge and caused the field goal attempt to miss.
Mm.
So that was the difference. He could have bailed out at that time. And
ballsy decision from the ref though, and good call.
Massive,
it's the right call, and it's a good call.
And I hope they continue to do that in the future because, you're right, field goals are especially ones that are taken from that close to the try line as well, where the defense, where the attack can't really back it up that much, that give themselves that much space. Like Osako was only probably on the 20-meter line, if that.
Yeah.
And so
the sad thing here is that we were talking about referees and who's the best referee in the game a couple of weeks ago, I think. And I think Atkins is still the best ref in the game by a mile. But at situations like this that work against him, because he called out a player, the player didn't fucking stop and gave him zero choice.
Yep.
Zero fucking choice. The penalty. And that won't continue elsewhere. And Glennie, I hate to burst your fucking bubble, but refs will do that fucking bullshit bitch thing they do where they put their whistle in their pocket. No matter what happens, you can leave early, you can hold players down for an unreasonable amount of time, you can give away 97 6-agains right after each other, and they will never blow a fucking penalty.
At that context of the game.
Yeah, it is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So it was enjoyable to see it happen once.
Look, it doesn't, and let's
do?
Spend a fucking minute to actually, yes, Titans fans, it does fucking suck that it was against your team.
Yeah, but also at the same time, kind of fucking, because I've seen him win games from that same stuff.
I know, but it's like whinging about getting busted speeding. Well, you were going over the fucking speed limit.
Yeah.
But there've been fucking heaps of times where people have gone 115 in 100 zone and not got booked. Yep, cool. So in comparison, that does suck, but you were still going over the speed limit.
Yeah, they're the lucky ones. You weren't lucky like those ones.
Yeah.
But you still did the thing.
That's it. Bitch about
still
being
did
up
the thing.
There. Exactly.
But what do I do about Campbell with the Titans? Because obviously in attack, I mean, he's electrifying and he can fucking put stuff on out of nothing.
Yeah.
But in defence, particularly goal line defence, if he's the last line of defence as fullback, I mean, he does get bodied.
100% he does.
Like absolutely.
He
admittedly,
does.
trying to.
He still made a couple of fucking absolute try-saving tackles in this game. But more often than not, with a frame like that, I don't know. I think he's going to come off second best more often than not. Certainly puts more of an attempt one-on-one than the likes of Ponga and a few others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just he's look, at the end of the day, he comes from stock that has a hell of a lot of heart and not a lot of size. So
and is that the thing? Is the play there to say that, look, we love you and we want to have you involved in the attack. However, we can't have you as last line of defence. So you need to develop and become a 6 so that we can hide you in the middle and give you some fucking minders.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's a tough one because he's obviously got, he has attacking ability, no question.
Absolutely.
But
as far as overall benefit to the team,
yeah.
So let's say
Brimson is less of a defensive liability and still brings his own attributes to attack. So he's your guy at fullback.
Do you have to say just sort of equal or ballpark the same sort of offering? Yeah.
Well, if, let's say you had a goal kicker who was 85% from the right side of the field and 30% from the left side of the field. Are they your first choice kicker? Or if a better one comes along, do you go, oh, fuck yeah, okay. They'll hit it from anywhere on the right side. However, there is one part of their game that is lacking.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on that one?
No.
Nah.
Tim. The Dolphins versus the team that we always beat. And that's truthful. He can say that because they do always beat them. David, right call for the penalty. Atkins showing balls to make the call despite knowing it would end the game. Undefeated always against the Titans. Norts. Dressed like a seat day once again. Good game. Titans just played stupid football at the worst possible time. Stuart. Sometimes an effort in a losing team really stands out. Jaden Campbell had a blinder. Frankly, the biggest part of him is his balls. Bromwich absolutely snotted him with his head to the sternum on the try line, and even as he's headed to the ground to land on his ass, you can see him trying to get his hand around the ball. Yeah, he does have some fucking ticker. Liam, the Dolphins' march into the 8 begins. Fins up. Scott, as I said last week, my team are dead set stupid at time. But this fucking league also hates rugby league teams on the Gold Coast. I'm not sure the conspiracy is that deep.
They bring it on themselves. I mean, they, you would think that they could be
better supported.
Yeah, and look, just back to what Nort said. I actually thought when I was watching the game, I mean, you could see there was quite a lot of people in on the ends of the field, and that's usually the indicator about crowds there at the Titans. Because when there's nobody, no tickets sold or nobody there, they just shut the ends off and just force people on, you're on the on the member side or the main general side, and they don't usually have any. But I mean, I remember, unless I'm recalling it incorrectly, I thought there was enough people. There's quite a few people down the end, so that usually to me is an indication that there's at least 9,000 there instead of the usual 4. But okay, so we didn't really talk about the Origin last week, did we? It's coming up again tomorrow. I mean, of course, no one fucking cares, but it's a rugby league podcast. We've got to see it through. And Galaxy Brain, we was having some chats to fucking Glennie before we went on air tonight, filling him in with the latest Freddie Fittler news. Do you want to recap us on some of the classic Freddie Fittlerisms that we've seen in the last 24 hours there, Stepdad?
Well, the entire Fittler fucking Origin career or coaching career it does seem to boil down to him overthinking abso-fucking-lutely everything. And
while possessed with under-intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also in possession of a side that for the first time in a fucking legitimately in a generation, he should have been able to just say, I have the best players in the competition. I'm going to go out here and just get the fucking job done. And cast your mind back to, I think it was his first campaign, when all of a sudden Daniel Tupou got recalled to the Origin arena after fucking who knows how long, doing fuck all, being absolutely fucking terrible at club level. But was it Xavier Coates that Queensland had on the wing?
Mm.
And it was because, fuck, he's tall and he scores a lot of tries from kicks. And I don't know whether it was fucking, trying to go back. Israel Folau used to do that, and we had no one that could fucking combat it. But all of a sudden, he starts to do things to combat Queensland again.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be this instantly fucking stupidly reactionary methods that he uses.
It was the old throwback to like, fucking Bo Scott can tackle, so we'll put him in the centres to fucking combat
GI.
Greg Inglis.
It's, absolutely fucking stupid. So the first one was he was asked if he has a plan for Clint Gutherson. Right? So, no, but in every other game we've lost an outside back, and he can cover any position from 1 to 6. But no, there's no plan. I don't have a plan for him. So essentially, instead of going, well, hang on, let's look at some forwards who would be part of our fucking rotation anyway, and if the worst case scenario happens, they can cover a spot in the back line. And I probably won't ask them to cover positions 1 to 6. I don't need someone to cover that.
I don't understand why, if an outside back goes down, why you just wouldn't put your hooker out there. That's what everyone would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
The second one was that when he's rung the young fucking Tigers player, who was his club's only hope of any sort of positivity for the next foreseeable 50 seasons, and told him that he is not playing State of Origin tomorrow because I want to rest you. I'm resting you. There is a fucking year until the next game.
No one's told Freddie that. He thinks it's best of 7.
Well, don't be fucking stupid. The cunt can't count that high. He doesn't know what 7 is.
Oh,
he has no concept of it.
Absolutely hilarious.
The highest he's ever gotten to is 5, because every cunt keeps high-fiving him after he makes it, and he thinks numbers stop after that. Fucking dumb shit. The entire thing, and I'm trying to find somewhere. Have you got the team in front of you, Nate?
I do.
Read the fucking team. Just read the fucking team list.
New South Wales team, obviously. Okay, so Tedesco's still there. To'o's still there. Crichton and Bradman Best in the centres. Addo Carr on the other wing. The halves are Cody Walker and Mitchell Moses. Starting props are Jakey Turbo and RCG. Cook starts hooker. Liam Martin, Keon Kalamatangi and Cameron Murray through the back row. Bench, Isaiah Yeo, Jacob Saifidi, Reece Robson, Clint Gutherson. 18th man, Scott Drinkwater.
Fucking hell.
Tell me you've stopped trying without telling me you've stopped trying.
But just look at this series, right? So, game 1, what should have happened at the end of game 1 was to go, fuck, we got some injuries to some key positions, and we didn't handle those very fucking well. Oh well, we also now have some other injuries. So let's look at the team we had for 1, because I thought they were fucking good enough. Oh look, the 7 that I picked for game 1's injured in his club, and he can't play. Who else do I have
on the squad?
Who else do I have in the team? Oh, the fucking Dally M winning 7 from last year.
Yep.
I picked him in game 1. So now I don't have a 7, and I have another 7 in my squad that I picked for game 1. Move you here. However, after the fucking most atrocious game by any fullback in the history of fucking State of Origin, including that dumb fuck that let himself be thrown over the sideline by Gordon Tallis, Nico Hines is the only one that's paid a fucking price because of form. How the fuck does that make
when
any sense?
When he had 13 minutes, 11 minutes,
anyone.
13 minutes?
Yeah. I guess Hudson Young has paid eventually as well. But he got to play 2 games of being shit.
Exactly.
Though.
What did Nico get? Fuck all.
Fucking 6 minutes or something?
Yeah. And
as an outside back?
And subsequently, as we have heard, has exactly the sort of temperament that you need for State of Origin. Took all the responsibility on himself. Took full and complete responsibility for shit that was not his fucking problem. And has got on with having excellent games at club level.
Yep.
However, Bradman Best is the fucking solution. Bradman Best is the way forward.
Well, the first thing though, like just in the interest, because I mean, sometimes we get caught up in things and we forget to live the Dairy Queen life. In the interest of lighting candles.
Fuck Dairy Queen. Brad Fittler raped her.
Oh,
Wendy fucked her too.
Exactly.
No, but Bradman Best. Well, this is what I'll say about him is he was great in the junior blues side, in the junior blues sides, and in the press through the week for this game has shown more like New South Wales sort of hate Queensland spirit than fucking anyone. Than probably 15 players in the squad this season already.
Good.
So I'll give him the. I mean, I feel like he's going to take his opportunity and give the best of what he could. Of his opportunity, make the best of his opportunity. Do I think he's up to it or was deserving at this particular time? No, I don't.
Look, I have no problem with Bradman Best having a fucking run in the centres. I really fucking don't. However, it's the way that Freddie went about it.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a fucking great game. Scored a lot of tries. Yep, he's in.
Yeah, and Newcastle fans will say, "Oh, he's had a fucking great season." But look, he's had a season where he hasn't been injured. That's what he's had.
Yeah,
he's been fine.
To you, dumb.
And then he had a wonderful game when they were fucking smashing
against the fucking bottom dwelling team.
Against a kid that was like there to get fucked on. Like a rookie player, and the player outside of him couldn't defend either. So they were in this position where there was this absolute Lachlan Fitzgibbon-sized fucking road down the left edge, which allowed him to easily set up Bradman Best for a number of tries. So
this also suits my fucking narrative. Was the Fatakai game against Manly before he played Origin?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, there you go. The cunt's got fucking form.
Yeah.
Like he has.
Yeah, Talakai literally got in because he played a game during COVID against the guy who had COVID the week before, and came back and thought, "Gee, rugby league's not a very fucking cardio intensive game at all." I mean, I'm sure the ability to fucking breathe isn't that important, or get fucking exhausted easily. That game was one of the most consequential games of the career of Morgan Harper and Talakai, both the opposite reasons. He got unfairly fucking demonized for the rest of his life because of it, and the other one got fucking State of Origin jersey.
Yeah.
But neither of them, like Talakai has never been that good again, and Harper's never been that bad again. It's just one of those fucking things. And look, I don't think we'll ever get to see if Rajab's that bad again against like the likes of Fitzgibbon and Bradman Best, because I think the doggies have killed his career, especially with Sexy Boy coming in now as well.
Yeah.
We'll never hear from him again.
So, Glennie, that's enough of a fucking rant from us. What's your take?
Oh, look, as Nate said, no one really fucking cares. But, New South Wales are talking, and Tedesco's come out and said, we can't lose 3-0 and we have to get out there and do whatever we need to do to win the game. And that all sounds good, but they haven't picked a side that would indicate that they're serious about winning Game 3 to save a bit of face and restore some pride in the jersey. And I expect Queensland to win, because if you look at their side, there's consistency. There's they're off the back of the series victory. They're motivated to win 3-0, and they look across the team list of the opposition. They see names like Moses, Gutherson, Walker. I don't know that those guys. I think Jake Trebojevic is a big inclusion. Which at least you've got a guy there that's going to give you everything he's got.
And a kind of backbone of a team sort of guy, which they probably 100%. Haven't had.
I rate Kaloamatangi. You've got Yo coming off the bench, where, his ability to create, if New South Wales could get on top field position-wise early and be attacking, in that sort of 20, 30 metre zone, he's lethal there with his. But he's lost his combinations there, and it just the whole side doesn't make a great deal of sense, if I'm honest.
I was wondering if
RCG
Cameron
as well.
Murray and Cody Walker can kind of get something together.
I guess that's what they're looking for, but
And Cook, like
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Did you see the photo
we've
of
gone from
Did you see the
picking all
photo
the
of Cameron
Penrith
Murray and
players.
Did you see the photo of Cameron Murray and Kalamatangi?
No.
It's pretty fucking wholesome. It's like when they're like these tiny little kids, like when they're about playing like under sevens or something,
Oh, wow.
and like Kalamatangi's holding the trophy, the shield that they just won, like the little kids premiership or whatever, and then you got Cameron Murray like standing next to him. These little kids have been playing that long together, so it's kind of wholesome.
That's
so I hope they
cool.
go good. But
I guess they've gone from picking all the Penrith players to win them games to going down a Souths tangent now, I guess. But then they had the opportunity to pick Adam Reynolds and really cap it off, and they still fucked it up.
Yeah.
Pick Moses.
and if they had done that, I would have given them far greater chance as well.
For sure.
Because Reynolds is actually fucking informed player. Moses hasn't been killing it all season, at all.
No.
He's come.
What Moses doesn't do is thrive under pressure. You know what? There's a fuck ton of at Origin, regardless of whether it's a dad rubber or not. Pressure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the case throughout his whole career. Absolute flake when the pressure's on. When the pressure's at its highest, he's nowhere to be seen.
Whether it be state of origin pressure or just the pressure of his club coach Ivan Cleary expecting him at training.
Yeah.
He just can't handle that pressure.
So,
But I think the story of the Fittler era is going to be that he is dumb, but he never has a plan for a series.
Not at all.
He picks a bunch of players, and if that combination of players doesn't work, then it's fucking scrap a chunk of it, and throw it just look at like Teddy's the captain. He's always going to be a constant in the side until he's not. But look at the rotation through 3 games.
But
we've had a different starting hooker in each game.
Yeah.
We've had two 7s across 3 games, and we've had 2 6s across 3 games.
But what the fuck does that mean? Does Teddy have to relinquish the captaincy, then play a season being shit, then move out of the side?
I think that's.
I think it's a legacy thing with Teddy. There's a hell of a lot of. They're trying to help him save face, and I think they didn't.
He might pull
him.
the pin on his Origin career through next
100%
season or something.
He will. Yeah.
Fucking
and
needs
leave
to.
put the decision out of their hands and sort of save a bit of face. But
Obviously, the injury to Tom, the fact that Latrell's been out, there have been mitigating factors that haven't helped his cause. But with the squad that he has had and the players,
and there's
that
been
he has
available
had at his
selections that he could have
disposal,
made the selections. There are selections he could have made that would have, just the whole losing, or maybe not the losing, but certainly the magnitude of the loss in game 2 was 100% down to fucking sticking Damien Cook out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, it was injury forced, but again, Cameron Murray played a fucking 2019 final series up to the fucking last semi-final.
Yeah.
As centre.
Yep.
Fuck me. And we just fucking cunts that just watch fucking games. We don't live the fucking sport. We're not paid. We're not paid handsomely to fucking.
But let's not understate what we bring to the game of rugby league. We
fuck all,
host,
but more than Freddie.
We host the longest running podcast in rugby league history.
But is that the issue then?
We know shit.
That Freddie doesn't have the right people around him to make those decisions and sell them to him because
because Brandy gets pretty defensive about this sort of stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, Brandy fucking does. But what I'm saying,
Brandy's a little close to Fittler, if I'm honest.
100%. Yes. 100%. Well, they won a fucking premiership together.
Yeah, I know. Right? I just don't know if he's the guy that's going to have the hard conversations with Brad
Not
Fittler.
at all. Not at all. Not at all. And I think Brandy suffers from this as well. One area that I feel that the game has passed by a lot of the old heads is that it's less now the game where you can get 2 sides out there and the under-skilled, under-talented, under-experienced team with guts and heart can win after 80 minutes. That was true in some instances a decade ago, but these days it's just not. You can't put Damien Cook in the centres and just assume, well, he's a footy player and he's got a Blues jersey on, so the fucking passion he feels on the hatred for Queensland will fuel him to run when his legs are tired and to make tackles even though his lungs are fucking burning.
Will arm him with the absolute split-second defensive decisions that come naturally to someone that's played a lot of centre.
Exactly, and that's what it is. Because honestly, go back and watch a bunch of State of Origin games, and this came up on the show, I reckon, a couple of years ago, when, like, you know how pre-Origin they start replaying a bunch of the old classics? You go and watch some old State of Origin games, and they were fucking woeful games of footy. They were horrid. There were fucking drops. The combinations were shitty. It looked exactly like it was. A bunch of guys.
Yeah, but the intensity, mate.
Exactly.
The intensity, mate.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Freddie played Origin in that time. So did Brandy. So they just feel like, well, as soon as you put that Blues jersey on, you can guts your way to an effort. Well, yeah, cool. You have to have more passion, and you have to dive for the loose balls, and you have to, catch the passes that.
No one was saying that Damien Cook lacked heart and guts when he was being horribly beaten time and time again by experienced centres. No one was saying he didn't have the guts to make the tackle. He just wasn't in the right position and have the necessary training and planning and experience and build a callus for the. As I say, the split-second defensive decisions that are unique to that position on the field that aren't the same as any other position on the field.
Yep.
Well, the fact he has to make decisions. I mean, when he's hooker and playing in the middle, he's just got a fucking big cunt running at him.
Yeah.
There's no real decision to make. Guy runs at you, fucking is bigger than you, tackle him.
Yeah.
Get up, do it again.
Do I turn my head left or right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. No. Fittler needs to fucking go. And I'll tell you, the other thing I'll fucking kibosh right now is all of this bullshit talk about fucking Sam Burgess being the saviour of the Blues. Which
Delightful.
is the other thing that's gaining fucking
traction. Why don't you bring all the Goonies back?
Zero coaching experience. Fucking...
Zero Origin experience.
Degenerate, and he's not fucking Australian.
Zero not being a fucking druggy...
But he's one of the boys, bro. He's one of the boys, mate.
Maybe you need to stop selecting coaches from the boys. You need to just get like we've said 1,000 times through this series. There's only two things you need to do as the coach of the Origin side. You need to fucking get the selection table right, and you have to get the tactical little things through a game like the interchange right.
What a surprise! A coach needs to coach. Fuck me.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. You don't.
But strategy and planning is a big part of coaching at that level.
But I'm talking all literally running the interchange on the fucking night.
Yeah.
As far as any extra strategy on top of that, you've won at the selection table because you picked the best players in the best positions.
Yeah. Like, what was that thing last year?
And to stay out of their fucking way and let them win. And then you get someone in there like a Laurie Nichols type, whatever, that revs them up that gets them fucking breathing fire for the night.
It's fucking difficult to get Laurie Nichols in there these days. But
well, I mean, I said a Laurie Nichols type. Like, I'm talking about a fucking brain dead cheerleader that just fucking revs.
Yeah.
With no
Before
no
you
thought
said
process.
that, I was going to suggest that maybe a chat with the Big Diesel might get the Blues over the line.
Perfect. Except the Big Diesel's a Queensland, a state trader Queenslander.
Sam Burgess.
I've never been more offended in anything you've said to me than I am right now. I've never had cocaine in my fucking life. How dare you?
Is it possible that your mum has shagged Toowoomba's Russell Crowe?
No, and only because I don't want to imagine it.
Fuck Brad Fittler as a staff record label and as a motherfucking crew.
Right, now, do you hear this business with the Bulldogs looking to make a massive player, getting Tino Fasul Malawi in
Give
because
him a pub, bro. Fucking.
we
get me on
did
board.
speak about did we last week? Did we speak about the situation where with Holbrook being sacked, David Fafita and Tino had clauses in their contracts that if that Holbrook was to go, then that would render their contracts
null and void,
and they'd become free agents. So with that in mind, the Doggies, apparently 6 clubs were trying to get Tino. A couple of clubs bailed out when they heard the Doggies were involved because the Doggies were going to offer him a $4 million contract, and I think he's Arthur Laundy, the fucking billionaire Laundy Hotels owner, was going to give him an ownership stake in a pub, which would guarantee a 10 to 12% annual return to fucking fill up his coffers and make the contract irresistible and blow every other offer out of the water, which is obviously clearly fails the arm's length test of third party agreements, given that Laundy is the major sponsor of the fucking Bulldogs. But Gus has come out and said it was bullshit, and Rothfield then detailed the calls he made and the people he spoke to, including a 10-minute conversation with Arthur Laundy himself, where he detailed everything he was going to do to give Tino an ownership stake in a pub, and while also saying that the Bulldogs are in a shit position, and they got to pay overs to get the good players in, and so this was part of a plan to bring in a guy that a piece that they consider they need. So Gus has come out and said that's all crap, and I mean, which he's got to say, because I mean it is just like one of the most fucking blatant attempts to cheat the salary cap in broad daylight that we've ever seen. Because I mean, every other bad attempt has been found in retrospect. So the fact this has happened actually in the well in advance.
Scott Prince is still living in his free house.
Yeah, I remember that. Those are the days.
Never
forget. Before the GFC.
Never forget.
So, it's it. Interesting. Look, I'll give him credit for trying. And third-party agreements is such a fucking murky area.
In it. It's, look, tell you what, if someone was looking to sign the big diesel, shares in a pub would fucking get it across the line, I'll be honest with you. It's fucking great. I think it's fucking awesome. But it's also it also doesn't seem to be within the rules, which is unfortunate.
Shares in a truck stop.
But what's the TPA? What are the TPA rules around C-grade Toowoomba touch?
You can get up to 30%.
It's open slather.
30% on Bowser 7.
Super duper. Anything more than super duper needs to be run through the fucking association.
Someone bought me a Kit Kat at the canteen and it was frowned upon, I'll be honest.
Oh, God. Look, it does... I do wonder why it isn't like sport is elsewhere, where the sport goes, cool, this is what we pay you, and you are free to now go and get any fucking sponsorship you like. Don't show your fucking NRL team jersey on it. You may make $0 from you in your club jersey. However, go and sign whoever the fuck you want. Australia probably has that culture where that would just turn into being fucking dodged anyway and turning into bribery and brown paper bags regardless. But
yeah,
it's I don't know. Again, fuck that. It's such an easy rabbit hole to fall into. And it starts with shit like how players come up from juniors and how players sign contracts and all of this fucking dumb shit going on with the RLPA at the moment. The entire fucking landscape.
The RLPA seem to be a fairly solid. I read through the list of things that they've got, and not one of the things that is concerning, like asking for more money and stuff like that. It's you should go through and read the.
It tells you absolutely what the FAQs. that they released
just,
today?
I think I saw Christian Welsh I saw something on Twitter that he put out, and I went and read that, and it says, okay, so this is what was agreed formally, and this is what the NRL's trying to change, and this is why we don't want to change it or whatever, and here's the reason behind it, and it explains it all very well about what the sticking points are. And I'll tell you what something that no one has said this week is, gee, I missed all the fucking interviews with the players as they were coming off the field at half time and fucking and after the game this week. Literally nothing. And if you scroll through like the page on, like, you know, on Fox Sports or whatever, when you're looking for articles for the week, it's incredible the amount of you can easily just skip the NRL 360 generated ones now because they're not even disguised as news, because they really are just
hang on. I'm just looking now. The Christian Welsh didn't post his own thing. He posted the RLPA press release, which is an FAQ of the CBA dispute. It tells you absolutely fucking nothing.
It tells you every fucking sticking point and then why it's a sticking point. Unless I read something else, because
it says, is this all about money? No, we have not asked for a single dollar more from the NRL since December 2022, and not detailing what they asked for, what was agreed, what the thing there. It's the same fucking dumb shit they put out the
because
week before.
because that's not a sticking point. I mean, the media reporters are asking for more money. They say no, it's not. And then they go
what's
through
the
and
issue with the
things
season schedule?
The season schedule is that the NRL want the ability to add 2 more games when they into the season without consultation.
Okay, so here's the thing though. This would place a health and safety risk on players. So that the amount of games we have now has no health and safety risk on players, but adding it just because it's not what they want, it's what the NRL wants, that would present a health and safety risk. How has that been decided?
Well, I mean, pretty much every pro sport in the world is about more games. Has more. I mean, it was obvious. More minutes on the field is more. It implies more risk.
100%. However, these players are happy,
what it is.
but they're happy to play more games, a la State of Origin and Test matches. Are they a health and safety risk? Oh, they get paid for those.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. That's fine. I mean, it's also representative fucking honour as well.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There is a price that they will ignore the health and safety risk for.
Yeah.
Be that honours. See? This is that fucking dumb shit.
The fact is these are 2 games on these are 2 games on top of that. And I think it's more the ability of the NRL to add games to the schedule without further consultation rather than adding of the games themselves.
Yep. Then there's the one that if the game loses a certain amount of money, the players lose money that they're not fucking happy with. Shock fucking horror. That's
you got to read that. That's not what that was about either.
If the game loses more than $10 million in a single year, the NRL want players to share in that loss.
Yeah, but then also there's a flip side to that as well. You got to keep reading. You got to read the whole thing and then.
I read it today
because you have a mindset.
No, I read it today.
An anti-union mindset just in life, and you try and I feel like you're coming at this.
No, I haven't. I have an anti-transparency mindset because I know exactly how this sort of fucking spin works. And the issue I have is that these fucking players are being led down a path by a representative body that doesn't understand how to actually get what the players need across the line. And these poor fucking players have no option than to fall into line and follow suit. Now, fucking.
I mean, this is the thing. The players have the ability to approve what their own foundation, their own players association is seeking, or not, and they choose to back it.
Oh, look, yeah.
Again,
this is the same RLPA who, and we know this firsthand, who said, oh, okay, cool, we're going to take a pay cut during COVID, right? And just for shits and giggles, let's say that's 10%. So everyone took a 10% pay cut. Then the NRL will reimburse you that 10% at a later date. So that 10% you're not getting now, they will give to you at a later date. We're essentially just deferring that payment during COVID. Yay, let's let the game go on. Then, when they got that deferred payment, the RLPA took legal action and said, oh, no, that's not their usual wages. So agents and player managers, who, mind you, I also think are shit cunts for the most part. So I'm not in the camp of the fucking Isaac Moses crew here. But, no,
all agents are cunts.
That's not their usual fucking salary. So don't give your agent their 10%. That's the sort of fucking organisation we're talking about here. Like, let's not pretend that there are any fucking good sides in this.
Oh, there's no good sides in it, but I mean, you got to actually represent the actual statements correctly. And like in terms of like the financial reporting as well, they weren't talking about like not wanting to lose cash. They were talking about needing to get transparency for the financial documents so they can actually see that the NRL's reporting the correct figures. That base it on whether they lose cash or whether there's profit share and all that sort of stuff. They're saying the NRL is not opening the books for them to actually get an accurate figure on what that is.
They are saying the NRL are opening the books, but they want additional access to NRL banking records and the ability to audit.
They want the proper, exactly. They want the proper financial reporting so they can actually be sure that they're sharing fair losses.
The proper financial reporting is, here are the financial reports that we've submitted to the tax office. You get exactly the same information as the tax office. They want the fucking net bank logons.
They don't want the net bank fucking logons.
Essentially, that's what they're asking for. We want bank statements and detailed transaction lists. We want the invoices out of your fucking MyOb.
They want about the clause about the $10 million is if the NRL loses more than $10 million in a single year.
Yep.
And that's a year in which this CBA it takes effect, which is like 23 to 27.
Yep.
If they exceed forecasts every year and lose $10 million in 1 year, they want to be able to have enough financial information to show that they are sharing the losses fairly, and the NRL is jimming the figures across the 4-year period to fucking, to pass loss onto, these guys.
So the NRL would lose itself 10 million just to spite the players a small percentage.
But I mean, if there was a way that they could move things around, and let me tell you, as well as I know, you can move things around to make
100% you can
any way you fucking want it to. So if there's a loss and it's not more than 10 million a year, but they can make a year more than 10 million, so the losses can be shared instead of having to be.
But again, this is that fucking ignorant, dumb shit that organisations like the RLPA come up with. You've just said it perfectly. There are multiple ways that you can structure a set of financials depending upon the completely legal and above board purpose that you are preparing those financials for. Let's say you're in a position where you need to obtain a fucking $30 million line of credit for the sport, for a fucking expansion exercise or whatever it is, or you want 200 million because you want a new team, whatever the fuck you need. You would structure your financials a certain way in the years leading up to that to make your financials look favourable to a fucking bank. However, there are other ways you can structure your financials for favourable taxation situations. Like, does the RLPA then get to assess the decision making of the league on why they did what they did?
I don't see that as something that's being asked about. No.
Yeah, it's absolute fucking bullshit. This whole thing is posturing, and honestly, I think the NRL are taking the better route here in not trying to take the moral fucking high ground of all we want is what's fair. All we want is this. Just no one fucking cares, honestly. People have enough fucking problems in their life with all the shit that's going on at the moment. If you're on their television running around in a fucking jersey on the weekend, they will gladly watch you and they will gladly fucking support you passionately if you're from the club that they love. But anything above and beyond that, it's people looking for a fucking issue to care about that get involved in this shit. Fuck Newton, fuck the RLPA, fuck the NRL, fuck everything, and can we just get on with football?
Well, hey.
Speaking of
just
which,
to be clear,
there's games coming up this weekend.
Just to be clear, football has not been affected one fucking iota.
Exactly.
So there is no football to get on with. It's happening. It hasn't stopped. It's continuing unabated. What's happening is the journalists have lost their fucking action, so they have to actually do real reporting.
Which is fucking hilarious.
I think Phil Rothfield did the first fucking honest day's work in his life chasing up this fucking Laundry Hotel story.
The funniest one I loved was the bit where they're talking about the international payments that are being included. So the NRL are now saying, because we pay international player payments, we're including those in costs, right? So your profit share is is income minus costs, and that's the profit, right? So they're now including payments to international players as part of the costs. And they've tried other things. So, they're not, or that means all NRL players would be paying for international payments effectively by reducing other benefits owed to them.
That's a transparency thing. They're saying that they haven't included all that stuff in their financial forecasts. So
no, they're not saying there's not included in the forecasts.
This might be acceptable if the NRL included money from these matches in their financial forecast. It literally says it right there.
No. It's saying because it wasn't included previously.
Yeah. So this is the thing. They're bargaining for a new fucking agreement, and that's a term that they don't want to. That's a sticky point. That's a term that they don't want to change. It's a fucking negotiation.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think that's not bad against the fucking the association. It's not bad against the NRL. It's a sticking point in the fucking negotiation.
No, to me, the players look at that and they should go, "Oh, okay, yep, cool. That's a cost. That's a cost. Profit is income minus costs. Payments to international players are legitimate costs. You can't pick and choose what fucking costs you want. Oh, that's never been a cost
if they
before.
didn't apply last time, and you're negotiating a new agreement, and that's a term in the new agreement that wasn't in the last one. You don't want it to come into the new one, then that becomes a sticking point in the new agreement that you don't.
100%.
You don't have to. You don't have to. That's the thing. They don't have.
Off.
Yeah, they don't have to fucking. That's the point. They don't. They NRL want it. They don't want it. It's a fucking negotiation.
This then comes back to that being disingenuous part. We're not asking about money. This isn't about money. It's exactly what it's about. They want to give you less money, and you want more money.
They're not asking for more money. They're asking for fucking. They're asking for costs to not be introduced that previously weren't there.
100%.
In their piece of the pie.
Yep, that's it. But it is about money. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's 1 point. That's 1 point out of 10. There's other ones about fucking, this ridiculous shit about players' health information, and there's a dozen things there.
Okay, comrade.
Oh,
get your pickets. Let's go.
Friday, 8 p.m.
Let's circle.
Newcastle take on the West Tigers. Let's move the fuck on.
Yes, it's very. I believe we could probably go back to I don't give a fuck. I've never worked in a union governed fucking industry in my life, and I never will. It's never going to affect me ever.
Have you got an RLPA at Toowoomba C grade, Glennie? Do you want to start? Do you want to start one?
No.
Let's fucking go.
The big diesel and the cabooses.
vodka lime and sodas. Fucking yeah.
Fucking the lime should not be a cost. The lime should be an incidental. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about union shit. I've literally never worked in a union governed thing. But I know that we could also go back through past episodes where I could literally get a fucking Glennie free episode from the past with Stepdad. I can get the soundbite where he's just like, fuck unions, fuck 100%
for fucking 10 minutes straight.
100%. They are not in it to benefit their fucking members. They are in it to benefit the union. And as long as you can accept anything that comes from a union with the understanding that they are there for their fucking benefit, then by all means. But don't be fucking disillusioned, just like the fucking corporations.
They're gonna love that one. And I don't want to fucking hear it. Just send them directly to Stepdad for fuck's sake. Friday night, the Knights take on the Tigers. Do not fucking pollute my Facebook group with this shit. Just send them straight to him for fuck's sake.
Business at thiscommieInLeague.com.
Oh god! Please stop.
Oh fuck! The Knights take on the West Tigers in Newcastle.
What do we got? Stepmum, surely.
TWiL is out. Gagai's in. Saifidi goes to the bench, resting up from Origin, no doubt. Daniel Saifidi moves to the front row. Tiger side, De Silva's out. Itasi James is out. Api Coruscant back already, and Alex TWiL's back from suspension. Simkin moves to the bench from hooker. Glennie, this is one you fucking need if you're any hope of avoiding a spoon.
Look, Appy's back. We're good. It's enough to beat the fucking Knights. It's Newcastle.
You're saying it very dismissively, Glennie. I have to say.
Well, fuck the Knights, really. The Knights are like a union.
No, they're not.
Oh, Glennie.
No, they're not. They're a bunch of poor fucking, blue collar workers.
Coal miners.
Yeah. That actually get in and do the fucking hard graft and put in all the actual fucking work.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Now Glennie's been worked into a situation where he's gonna have to deal with the fucking MIU fucking shutting him down.
Fucking bring it. I hope he's silenced. Look, an improved showing last week against the Sharks, whilst still not getting the job done or even being close to doing so. I think we beat the Knights. Dream Buller. I think he's been a shining light despite how the Tigers have gone in recent times. Appy's a big in. I think the team will be buoyed by that, and
so you
I
think
we'll
that
win.
That not playing for the Tigers for a couple of weeks will give Appy some motivation to want to play for the Tigers?
Well, he's a consummate professional.
Who can forget that interview at the end of last year before he went to the Tigers?
I can. I've tried very hard to forget it. Look, the Tigers against any team containing Kurt Mann are a sure thing. So put your fucking house on the Tigers.
Yeah. No, I won't. The Knights are going to win easily.
Fuck you.
Doggies take on the Broncos. The Belmore. Bronchies. The Bulldogs. The Bronchies. The Bronco Donkeys. I was talking about the Bulldogs anyway, so I was even fucking doubly mystifying. Addo back in from Origin. Corey Waddell back in from whatever fucking paddock he was. Kraz goes to centre from wing. Ram Fatal and Manarina goes to front row. The Broncos side, Payne Haas is out. Pat Carrigan out. Capewell comes in. Jesse Arthurs comes in. Broncos by how many?
Yeah, look, I think everyone felt warm and fuzzy at the Bulldogs after last week's win. I think they'll be brought fairly heavily back down to earth. The Broncos will be looking to... everyone would look at what happened with the Broncos last year and think that maybe, they might be heading down a similar path now that Origins has done, and they'll be wanting to make sure that they've got their hands on the wheel, and Adam Reynolds will be central to that, and I think the Bulldogs are a perfect opponent for them to take those steps forward, to close out the season. So Broncos by plenty.
Yep. So Doggies fans, make sure you get out to Belmore to watch Josh Reynolds' last game in Reggie's, and then go home.
Before he aborts his career.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it's not so much that his career be aborted. I mean, if we're following your analogy there, Glennie, you'd actually say he never actually had a career after all.
Well, he did play for the Tigers.
Some slut just made it up.
Oh.
Hey, but don't. Oh, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
She's a fucking low-life piece of shit.
Did she ever get any sort of comeuppance, or is she still out there grifting?
Did she or did she not go into boxing or something?
Oh,
or am I fucking making that up?
Against Josh Reynolds?
No, that's how it all blew up though, remember? Allegedly gave her the business, but the problem is the case was damaged because she lied about literally fucking everything, which is a quality that you generally don't want in a witness. But yeah, Broncos easily. And let's Stepdad. Look up, I know Bella something, Arabella something, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Was it?
Arabella de Busco or something.
Wasn't there like there was like an expose or something on 60 Minutes about her, and she'd lied about everything, like her whole life.
Yeah. And like there were people coming, from her past, like Oh, look, I type into Google, and then the third thing is Arabella de Busso boxing. Ex-WAG. Oh, so, okay. Oh, reality TV star makes boxing debut in a G-string is the headline. Okay.
Now you got Nate's attention.
You had my interest, but now you have my attention. She beat someone called Little Kimchi back in May.
Jesus Christ.
Like as in the full word little or L-I-L?
No, LILKYMCHII. I bet she's a rapper. She'd have to be a name like that, right?
Fucking hell.
This is getting better. I'm sorry to deviate from the rugby league talk, Glennie, but I mean, found something interesting here to talk about.
All I remember is
a raw fish.
Go for it.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, all I
threw
remember
a raw
of her
fish at her.
Oh my god.
The undercard of Misfits Boxing. Huh. There you go. She was carried down. Oh my god. She had like a Prince Nassim entrance, like carried down to the ring on a throne.
Fuck me, dude.
Like Tyson, like Fury did.
She doesn't like attention.
She fights under the name Little Belzy.
Oh god.
This is the absolute level of redactedness to this entire fucking scenario is great. Anyway, I'm going to go and look at that later. Because I've got to be sure that I'm not just fucking making it all up. Now, Mighty Manly Seabs Eagles. Sorry, go ahead, Stepdad. You had a question about this.
Yeah, no, I just...
legitimate.
All I remember was that like she was legitimately outed as like, yeah, so you've made up all this shit and you're just like the worst sort of fucking person.
Yeah, and they I'm sure they brought all these like exes and everything.
Yeah,
she's done the same sort of thing, like ballparked all of them.
And she's just like legit looked at it and smiled, and then the next week was on a fucking reality TV show.
Yes, I believe so.
So they should ask her to fucking run the RLPA.
Oh.
The Mighty Manly Seabs Eagles take on the North Queensland Cowboys at Brookie Manly side. Dean Madison is making his debut on the bench in 14. He's been fucking killing it for Blacktown, who've been having a decent season, probably the first good season in the history of the fucking franchise down there. And interested to see how Maddo goes. Other than that, no changes to the side that fucking absolutely fucking smashed the Roosters. The Cowboys, no changes also. Obviously, both of these teams are going to be highly dependent upon how players back up from Origin. With the Cowboys, I think having more guys in there, but like Daly he'll back up unless he literally gets injured, and Jake should be all right as well. I mean, they're usually, as far as backing up's concerned, two of the more reliable players at Brookie. Cowboys getting smashed by the Sea Eagles, and as they march into the 8, this is a big fucking this is a big game in the context of like final season in the 8.
Cowboys are favourites away from home.
It's because they've had some they had some fake form recently. They put the 70 burger on you, and what I mean, like that's eye catching no matter what. Like 74 nil is a great fucking win. I mean, when you look at it on a piece of paper, I mean, then you watch the game and you go, well, yeah. I mean, look, obviously it's like
it was the Tigers.
It was always Tigers, for God's sake. Of course it was. Should have been 94. Disappointing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They say things like that. Should have been 100.
I think this will be a tough game, but I think the Cowboys might just win a close one.
Well, certainly we'll see if the Cowboys, like how close to being like last year's Cowboys that they actually are, though. I mean, because they have shown signs of more increased toughness over their first third of the season, where they sort of incrementally got better. But through the Origin period, it seems to be when they've kind of picked it up a bit actually. But we'll see how much that's real sort of form. I worry about their Manly attack a little bit still, without Tommy there, but the more games they get, the more games together in the configuration they are, the better. And the one thing that the Cowboys haven't picked up as well is the defensive side of things. I mean, like that Tigers game was an outlier, and I mean they've been having some shootouts and letting a lot of points in. So
yeah,
that's what's going to come down to
a couple of games this week. the Knights game and also this one, where I think that, I don't want to say bounce back, but the after Origin hangover, whether it's a good one or a bad one for a couple of players, might dictate the way they go. Yeah. And for the Cowboys, you know, Val's going to come back in and just keep being Val.
Yep.
Like he has slow start to the season, but is in great form now. And I think guys like Drinkwater, how they come back from their first Origin experience, may have a lot to do with how the Cows perform this week. If he backs
up. I think the only problem with backing up this week is probably going to be in the next game. I think, but judging on form, but yeah, Manly at home all day. The Roosters take on the Storms at the SCG. So this will be another one of those women's soccer World Cup affected encounters. No, they've probably got Allianz booked in. So the Roosters side, Corey Allen's out, Junior Paraga's out, Drew Hutchinson out, Terrell May, Billy Smith, Joseph Swali'i, Brandon Smith returns, Egan Butcher back as well. The Storm side, Tariq Sims goes from front row to bench, Tui Kamika goes bench to front row, and that's it. And I would imagine they'd be sweating on how much piss Cam Munster drinks after the Origin game, but otherwise, I think they'd probably be fairly low on concerns there as well. Look, I think obviously Storm. I mean, the Roosters did turn things around somewhat last week, but just having like monster fucking games from their forwards and dominating territory along the ground, and the fact that just Daly kicking Manly out of trouble for fucking 60 minutes until they got on top was enough to roll them. You know, it's kind of telling. Obviously, they'll be boosted by the inclusion of Brandon Smith. You would think. I mean, you know, him versus Jake Turpin as an option for 9. You would assume that there's improvement in the side there.
I think Munster got his drinks on after game 2. I think he'll back up.
Last man standing from all reports.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
No.
I don't rate the Roosters at all. I think the Storm will blow them off the park.
Yeah, 100%. There's going to be something about, you know, Brandon Smith, old club, yeah. But I'm not sure he's the player who's going to come straight back. You know, he's had a lot of time out. I'm not sure Melbourne are going to cop him at his best.
I was going to say, you'd be very, very disappointed with the amount of money they paid and what they got out of him. Yeah, it's no. I mean, I don't think it's one of these situations where you go, oh yeah, that's like a, you know, like worst signing kind of territory. Yeah. But it's very disappointing signing though.
Well, almost like there was an organisation called the Brandon Smith Shopper, where it went around and purchased items on behalf of its members, and unbeknownst to its members, charged a fucking fee that was added onto the price of these items that the member paid for without fucking knowing it. Wouldn't that fucking suck if that happened blatantly? Melbourne by fucking 30.
30, all right. The Warriors take on the Sharks over in Zid. Warriors side, Bunny and Fire out. Josh Curran comes in after sitting out his time to let the heat die down from headbutting that kid in Port Macquarie or wherever it was. Mitch Barnett goes from second row to front row. The Sharky side, no changes. Warriors, at this stage, slid a little bit, but at this stage in the 8. So that tells me, as a scholar, that the Warriors are winning.
Self-proclaimed. Tied in the betting, this one. Sharks very, very slight favourites over the Warriors. Third versus sixth, very evenly placed. This is one of those tests for the Warriors as they continue along, you know, what's proving to be a breakout season for them as an organisation, and certainly a crowning moment for Webster's coaching credentials. I really think it's really important for both sides. I think it's important for the Warriors to solidify their credentials, and you know, for all anyone's saying about the Sharks. They need to beat the better teams. Warriors are definitely a team that's in the 8. The Sharks can try and do, go some way to getting that monkey off their back. I am going to tip the Warriors though. More
just
because
to be clear, it's not. Just to be clear, it's not something that people are saying. It's the results of rugby league games.
No, I get it.
So, yep, Warriors easily.
Oof, there you go.
Easily, I'm telling you. The more you put on, the more you get back.
I think, and just to go back to an old faithful floor and ceiling, I still think the Warriors' floor is well below the Sharks.
Agreed.
The Sharks are unpolished. They're young. They play on energy. They don't have a lot of structure, which means they don't have a lot of stuff to fall back on when things are tough. But I'm going to tip the Sharks here.
No love for the Sharks. Warriors all day. Dolphins versus the Panthers at Redcliffe, KO Stadium. Val Meninga's out. Josh Kerr is out also. The Hammer comes back in with Felice Kafusi. Panthers side, Zach Hoskins out. Tyrone Peachy's out. Sonny Luke comes back. And Jamin Salmon.
Interesting.
We've established it. Even though it's just down the road, Stepdad's not going to this one.
No, can't make it this weekend due to work.
No, because same guy that fucking smashed me for not driving 3 hours to watch the fucking Tigers. But hey, whatever. You can't drive 45 seconds. Last year. No, when all the games are being played at fucking Redcliffe. And every time the Tigers play on the Gold Coast.
Hang on a minute. You came to a game at Redcliff with me?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I went to several Redcliffe games. It doesn't stop the fucking
I never fucking smash you for not driving, Glennie. I'm well aware of you. I am well aware of your limitations and what a terrible fucking driver you are. I would not wish that on anyone.
You are on one tonight. You haven't applied your cream. You haven't taken your pills. And we're bearing the brunt of your fucking trauma.
I remember.
Quite frankly, I'm sick of it.
I remember there was that video of you on the internet with the guy kept calling you auntie when you were trying to park your car. That's a fucking deep internet cut. Only true OGs will remember that one.
Fucking Jesus.
Anyway, Panthers by a million.
Panthers by a million. 100%. Sorry, Dolphins. I've been fucking part of your good vibe story all season.
Again, right in the blowhole this weekend.
But as we've established, Brad Fittler has absolutely killed Dairy Queen. So fuck you and anything that you've stood for this season. Go back to
not for me.
Fucking Q Cup.
Oh.
The Eels take on the Titans at our Combank Stadium. Lume for the Eels is out. Ogden out.
Dislocated eyeball, apparently.
Gutherson, Moses, and RCG back in. Titans, Jolliffe, Stimson, Isaac Vasul-Malawi, and Jacob Alec out. Brimson, Fodawaker, Tino, and David Fafita back in. Jaden Campbell goes to the bench, and Chris Randall to the bench. Look, I think the Eels are going to do a fucking job on the Titans, frankly. They're going to be so... Gutho and Moses are going to be so cranky about their failure in the pressure cooker environment of State of Origin football, even in a dead rubber where there's no pressure.
Pressure cooker environment where there's no pressure.
Yeah, it's like, when you don't clip the thing. And so... and they're going to come back and they want to...
where you leave the lid off.
And they're going to want to take it out or something like that. They're going to have a bad day at work on Wednesday, and they're going to come home on Sunday and kick the fucking dog. Playing the dog this week with the Gold Coast Titans.
Oh, fuck the Eels! I'm going the Titans in an upset.
Oh, look, I'd love to see it.
Kieran Foran revenge game.
Oh, imagine. Does his career at the Eels even qualify him for taking revenge? I mean, it should be a fucking Parramatta Eels revenge game on him and try and extract every cent that he fucking got out of him.
He played 4 games and 1 million poker machines.
So, Yeah, look, the Eels heavy favourites this game. I can't see a way for them to lose. I mean, even when they're affected by Origin, they said they tend to have a base level if they've got one of their constants in their side, like Clint Gutherson. Because man, he can fail at Origin level, and he can even fail at NRL level a lot. But something about his presence there, it does make the players around him less shit. If that's I'm trying to think. I don't want to go over the top with the way I explain this. Just less shit. The difference between 46-10 against the Warriors to turning that around to like a 28-10 win on the Titans.
Makes his teammates better, you say?
Yeah, and I mean, even when he's shit and drops it and sook in all the time, he doesn't have to be good to do that, but just being around him makes them feel better. And perform a little bit better, just a little bit. I can't explain it. Science can't explain it, honestly. God knows it's tried. To no avail. Also, the Titans pack is going to be on the piss for a couple of nights as well, by and large. So I do wonder about the backing up ability and the minutes. And I think if those guys aren't there, they're fucked. Scientifically speaking.
Okay. Titans
Raiders,
1-12.
Raiders, Dragons, Rabbitohs bye. So this, as we go into this round, Tigers and Dragons are tied on the table, I think, for points. And this will be the Dragons' last bye. So Tigers really need. This is one of these games where I think it's.
As of this weekend, or as of right now, the Dragons have played 17, the Tigers have played 16.
Yep. So that's So this weekend, these three that get the bye this weekend, that'll bring the Dragons up to the Tigers level in terms of buys. So they'll have that one more win there. So the Tigers, this is a game this week, and against the Knights as well.
Yeah.
This is one of your more winnable games, Glennie, on the run home. So
they're all winnable in the fact that they are participating in a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes them as winnable as you think.
I mean, you did beat the Panthers, though. I mean, so you do have a point, Glennie.
Fair point. I'll take that.
You have the Dragons next week. Next week is the battle for the spoon.
Look, I've
that's
said
spoon.
it.
That's Spoonerpalooza.
Listen, I've told everyone.
When's that? We're game companion.
Everyone
that
that'll
right?
listen. That reminds me. I still owe Shane Cash a 6-pack.
Dragons Tigers Thursday.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to fucking game companion that one next week, I'm afraid.
We do.
Glennie.
We really do.
We have to. Spoonerpalooza's got to be done. I'll fucking do this one. I'll do this one with you too if you want.
When are we playing? Thursday.
So it'll be late Thursday night.
I'll tell you what. I've just fucking thrown together a quick ladder predictor, as I like to do.
I would prefer to hear you talk about unions than the ladder predictor. That's how much I fucking hate hearing you talk about the ladder predictor.
The ladder predictor.
Is it just because the Tigers are at the bottom of it?
The ladder predictor gives me a fair and equal benefit for the effort I put into it. So I click buttons, it gives me the outcome. So the Tigers, the way I have it going, and I've given you wins where I think you'll win games.
Which is none.
No? Oh, maybe, but...
If you haven't got us beating the Dragons, you're fucking dead to me.
No, I've got you beating the Dragons. I've got you beating the Dragons. I've got you losing to the Rabbits. I have you losing to the Raiders.
That could be a boil over Tigers win or a loss by 60.
That's it.
You just never can tell.
I have you losing to the Warriors. I have you losing to the Dolphins.
I think that's a win. That's potentially winnable for the Tigers.
The Dolphins?
Yeah, because if the Dolphins if they get fucked on a couple of times in a row,
the Dolphins by that stage will be firmly playing for a spot in the 8.
I think they'll be mathematical at best at that point because they're not winning. They're not going to win too many games in between now and then. I don't think.
I've got you losing to the Roosters.
You could boil that over too.
So the way my ladder predictor works out, going into if you if you lose your last game of the season, you will finish 17th. And if you win your last game of the season, you will finish 16th and hand the Dragons the spoon.
Yeah. But differential is like a big difference at this point. So you got to rely on the differential of the Dragons to continue to blow out.
Let's be honest, the Dragons. I've said it before. The Dragons will not win another game this season.
Well, let's say so. Differential at this stage: Dragons are minus 221, Tigers are minus 227.
Oh, is that close?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, all I've done is put in that. The predictor does it for you. It's 12 points each game. I'm not fucking around guessing scores. However, you play Manly last round.
Yeah, at Brookie too.
So you need to beat Manly to avoid the spoon.
Oh, it's fucking...
Provided all this other stuff goes your way as well.
Fucking guaranteed, bro.
I hope.
And so I haven't got the Dragons winning anymore either.
I hope it comes down to that, Glenn.
Can you imagine the game companion for that one?
Yeah, and the thing is, I can say unless Manly are playing to get in the 8 in that game as well.
No, Manly are 10th on the ladder.
If Manly aren't playing to get in the 8 with a win against the Tigers, I truly don't give a fuck which way it goes. Because if you avoid the spoon, that's a win for me. If you get the spoon because of Manly, that's also a win for me. I'll take either and enjoy immensely.
See? That's there you go. You've
reinstated Dairy Queen.
You've given Dairy
Queen
make a
wish week. Make a wish weekend. Fucking round 26. What was it, round 26? Oh, I look forward to it. Can't wait.
I think that we're done.
I think we're done too.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking hell, that was a long episode for an Express episode.
Unless you guys want to continue talking about unions or whatever, it'd be fucking great.
I didn't give a fuck about unions. I was just trying to wind this guy up because I know he fucking gets going.
Well, look, all I'll say is we're not called fucking This Week in Union.
No.
Nothing good with that word has ever fucking happened.
This week in fucking commies.
Yeah.
How good?
I know the drill. You just got to fucking just wind up the Red Menace a little bit and then let fucking Stepdad work.
Who said?
I'll just throw some red fucking ingredients in the pot and let him stir it.
Who talks about this blessed union? Fucking priests. We've already been over what they bring to the table this week. Nothing good happens with that word involved.
Once again, I'm sorry for bringing it up.
Wallabies and pedos.
That is full time on episode, whatever the fuck that was.
The animals and the sporting entities. On that note, we'll, thisweekinleague.com. You know what to do. See you next week.
See ya.